as of the making of this video, we are waiting for Jerome Powell to give his statements from the FOMC meeting minutes because we just found out that there's going to be no rate change in what the United States is doing with their rates. A pause is what some people are calling it, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about what could happen to the United States dollar and what is going on outside the United States in what is known as the BRICS nations, because there are a lot more things going on that could affect the dollar, which in turn could affect risk assets such as the crypto world, Bitcoin, XRP, and more. And I'm also going to be talking about our favorite entity, the SEC, and what they are now going after Ripple for. And I'm going to tell you how many hundreds of millions of dollars they're actually going after Ripple for, and if some of the analysis says that they'll actually get it. And of course, right now, Bitcoin and the crypto market have been moving upward. XRP has been moving upward, up over 60 cents. Bitcoin has been bumping up against $35,000. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, my name is Randy. Welcome back to the Late Night Grind. And right now on this channel, we are covering cryptocurrency news, investment markets, and personal finance. So if any or all these topics interest you, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, join the Late Night Grind community. If you do a couple things, I'd appreciate it. Smash the thumbs up button and watch this video all the way to the end. So the two best things you can do to support a YouTube channel. So if you do that, I'd greatly appreciate it. All right, guys. Let's jump into it. So first thing I wanted to cover was actually Ripple versus the SEC. Because if you remember, a few weeks ago, the judge had decided that the appeal process would not be happening for the SEC. It was a big win for Ripple. Now, some people speculate, well, this is because the SEC officially dropped its charges against Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson, the executives of Ripple, because they wanted to go after Ripple for more money. They wanted to go after him specifically in an attempt to get Ripple to end the case. So just 2 days ago, they actually filed their official penalty against Ripple. They are seeking $770 million from Ripple in penalties for their institutional sales, for which Ripple lost against the SEC in what was effectively one of the only wins that the SEC took from this entire case. Well, $770 million, that's a lot of money, especially after Ripple already spent $200 million in legal fees winning that case, or at least winning it for XRP and its regulatory clarity. So is Ripple actually going to pay up $770 million? Or are they going to have to start dumping XRP to come up with that money to pay the SEC? Well, that might be some of what the SEC is hoping. But according to John Deaton, who's been on this case for the long haul, he says the SEC is doing this because they are pissed and they are embarrassed. They are going after skin. They are going after big dollars. They're going after everything they possibly can in order to save face in this case. Now, as Deaton outlined, he said, listen, the penalty phase of a court case, sometimes these can last anywhere from 8 months to a year to actually get the official numbers from the court. And what's likely to happen throughout the course of a penalty phase is that a lot of times those numbers get whittled down. Now, he gave a for instance. If you remember last year, the SEC went after a crypto company called LBRY. I talked about it several times on many different videos. Well, they actually went after LBRY for a $23 million sum. And by the end of the penalty phase, the judge only issued a penalty to the tune of $130,000. Now, that is a far cry from $23 million. Most of which had to do with probably what LBRY and its executives had on hand or had liquid, which probably wasn't a lot. Now, Ripple is a little bit of a different story, but nonetheless, according to Deaton and some of the other legal experts covering this case, the $770 million number is not likely to happen, at least not all of it. That number could be cut in half. That number could be significantly smaller. Now, this doesn't really affect XRP, the XRP ledger, or a lot of the pricing going on in the crypto world, but what this could affect is Ripple and the rumors that they're going to go IPO. Let me know in the comment section down below if you are following Ripple to its IPO and if you plan on either investing or just keeping a close eye on it. Because the timing of their IPO, well, you might want to take a look at that, because if it has to do with the Bitcoin halving and of course the crypto bull market that some say has already started or that could start very soon, that's one thing to keep an eye on. So as we look at the rest of this case, I'm going to be looking specifically at Ripple and if they end up having to pay that full $770 million. Let me know in the comment section down below if you think Ripple would actually dump a lot of their XRP in order to raise funds to pay the SEC. Let me know your thoughts down below. Also, you can follow me on X. We can have a conversation about it there. Now, before I get to talking about de-dollarization and the dropping of the dollar and what that could mean for the crypto market, Bitcoin, XRP, and the rest, I wanted to direct your attention to Fairdesk, which is a partner of this specific channel. They are an exchange for which you can do cryptocurrency trading. You can do futures trading. You can also do copy trading. And this is where you don't have to trade yourself. You can simply set your account to follow certain expert traders. And when they make trades and make profit, you get to share in that profit. Go ahead and sign up. There's a link in the description down below. And like I mentioned a lot of times on this video, if you are one of the top 3 depositors from this channel, you'll get an extra $100 added to your account. And looking back at the past month, let me tell you, it doesn't take much of a deposit to qualify for that $100. So go ahead and check it out. So as I'm making this video, Bitcoin continues to defy a little bit of the RSI and some of the indicators that suggest that there's going to be a downward trend of the Bitcoin price, albeit it could be a short-lived one. Because right now it's bumping up against $35,000 several times, and XRP is continuing to move as well. It's up above 60 cents and climbing. The other one to take note of is Solana. Solana is pretty much, other than meme coins, which don't have much of a market cap, Solana is defying a lot of the odds, and they are going on a massive run. Earlier this morning, it hit $44. Now, I did trade in and out of it a little bit. However, I'm not long-term bullish on Solana in terms of its utility, at least compared to some of the other ones out there. And this is not financial advice, but it is fun to keep an eye on what Solana is doing. XRP, like I said, is up above 60 cents and continuing to climb. Some of this could be the speculation of a bull run. Some of this is the speculation that the case against Ripple is largely over, other than trying to figure out how much Ripple is going to pay in potential fines. But there are some big news and some big partnerships that Ripple is continuing to announce, thus making the case for XRP even more bullish. And if you've spent any time on X, you'll see all of the technical analysis, especially those that focus on XRP, continue to put out charts, just as the Bitcoin maxis do, put out charts on what their speculative pricing is and what their predictive pricing is in terms of what the values could be in the next couple of months. It's all over the map. Now, I am seeing sort of a consensus, at least for XRP in the coming months. Several people are looking at $7 to $13. And when I say several, I mean there's literally 3 or 4 trading groups that I'm in, as well as several market analysts that I follow very closely, all have XRP in this $7 to $13, possibly by the end of the year, or at least the beginning of the year. Some people are saying this is that little fake out rally that could essentially commence this crypto bull run. So back to the beginning of the video, I mentioned Jerome Powell and how he is announcing that there will be no rate changes in the United States, at least temporarily. There was a small percentage chance that they were going to cut rates, although I never saw that was going to happen. Although I never thought that was going to happen. Apparently, according to bettors, there was about a 1.8% chance that Powell was going to drop rates. I don't think that's going to happen for a while, but there is doom and gloom speculators all over the internet and television talking about the massive debt the United States is in and what high interest rates are going to do to that debt payment in the coming months and years. This is making other countries that want to see the de-dollarization of the global reserve currency of the United States dollar actually happen. BRICS countries. These are the BRICS countries. They are countries that are growing it seemingly by the week. In fact, the most recent country that has interest in joining the BRICS countries is Iraq. These are the countries that want to move off of the dollar standard, especially for trading in oil and energy and many of the different commodity sectors. There's a lot of different countries that have already joined and several that are interested in joining. Now, the speculation is that they're going to move off of the dollar for trading energy. It's going to reduce their need to hold on to United States Treasury bonds, dump the Treasury bonds on the United States, force the United States into printing money, and thus force the dollar and, well, those using the dollar into even higher inflation rates. Well, that's a very scary thought. So as we wait for Jerome Powell to talk about some of those factors, this is why I wanted to talk about why it's important to follow. Because if you've been in the crypto industry for a while, you've known that Bitcoin and the crypto world has been known as a lifeboat. And what they're talking about is the potential collapse of the United States dollar or just fiat in general. Now, there's some major investors that are also following this narrative or this storyline, and they say, listen, the United States dollar, it's not in a good spot. However, it doesn't really have a major competitor yet. The only major one is potentially China's digital yuan. And as of right now, that is a closed currency, meaning you can't buy or sell the digital yuan. So if they're going to open that up and have trade with other countries using the yuan, it's going to have to change its format. So it's something to keep an eye on. But regardless, the de-dollarization could drop the value of the United States dollar, and if we see other countries dumping the U.S. Treasury bonds, forcing the United States to print because we can't sustain this debt, well, guess what? In order to hold off inflation, they're going to have to do two things, either print more money or raise rates. Well, if you raise rates on an already declining dollar and in already shaky economic conditions, neither one of those are good things. But what they do for crypto, and now institutional money is starting to buy into it, is that cryptocurrency could be seen as a lifeboat, a hedge against all that inflation and de-dollarization. So if all this narrative happens right around, right before the Bitcoin halving, which is typically a time at which Bitcoin starts to surge and the rest of the crypto market does, well, it could be a good time to jump into cryptocurrency. But this is not financial advice. I want you guys to do all of your due diligence before making any decisions. Once again, follow me on X. There's a link in the description below. Sign up for Fairdesk. You can set your account to trade with some of the expert copy traders there. Once again, thank you for watching this video all the way to the end, for smashing that thumbs up button. And as always, I'll see you guys on the next video.